This is Charlie Green of Green in Cincinnati with some real-world hypermiling. I've been visiting my family and I had the chance to drive my soon-to-be sister-in-law's 2007 Toyota Prius. Unfortunately, those are the miles per gallon based on the old EPA measurements. The updated averages are a lot lower and a lot more depressing. Watch as the city miles per gallon drop from 60 to 48, and the highway miles per gallon drop from 51 to 45. A bit of false advertising courtesy of the EPA. But despite that, the Prius still gets better mileage than other cars on the road, and I've been itching to get behind the wheel of one. Thankfully for me, and especially for my brother, Becca's very sweet and trusting. So we started by inflating her tires. They'd all dipped under 30 psi, so we pumped them up to the car manufacturer's recommended psi. 35 for the front wheels, 33 for the back. And here were our limitations. There were 3 of us in the car, all 460 pounds of us, and we had the air conditioner going, thanks to the 100-degree temperatures here in Little Rock. So far, Becca's driven her car for 9,500 miles, getting about 39-40 miles per gallon. That comes to about 243.6 gallons of gas, and let's say, since prices are a little lower in Arkansas, that's about $3.75 a gallon. That's $913.50. I got the car up to 50 miles a gallon, which over the course of 9,500 miles only takes 190 gallons. Multiply that by $3.75, you get $712.50. That's over $200 of saving. But money isn't everything. Let's think ecologically for a second. Every gallon of gasoline burned emits about 20 pounds of carbon dioxide into the air. That's carbon dioxide that wasn't there before and that there's no way to recover. Burning 190 gallons emits 3,800 pounds of CO2. Burning 243 gallons emits 4,800 pounds of CO2. It might seem small, 1,000 pounds of CO2. In Los Angeles, a city of huge sprawl, where excess CO2 has led to skyrocketing rates of childhood asthma, there are millions of cars on the road. About 1 child in 4 in Los Angeles has asthma thanks to all that CO2. Imagine that single person's 1,000 pounds of CO2 saved, and multiply that by, I don't know, 1 million. You start to see how the numbers can change. Here's a quick summary of what I did in Becca's car. I accelerated slowly and coasted to stops. I never took the car over 60 miles an hour and rarely over 55. I did a little pulse and glide, which I'll explain. When you know you've got a flat stretch of road or a slight downhill coming up, accelerate just a little bit. Once you're onto that flat stretch, take your foot off the accelerator, and that's pulse and glide. Becca asked me a legitimate question while I was driving. Doesn't hypermiling make trips take forever? Imagine if you've got a 15-minute commute. Hypermiling is only going to add at most a couple minutes. And honestly, I've been surprised how many times a car just zooms past me only to have to brake hard and wait at the same stoplight. Watch car A and car B here. The driver of car A keeps accelerating up to the stoplight only to have to slam on the brake. And all this burns even more gas. The driver of car B sees the stoplight up ahead and coasts up to it, burning as little gas as possible in the process, and they both end up in the same place. That's how most city driving goes. The regenerative braking is really cool, but apparently if you coast to a stoplight, even in a Prius, instead of braking, you save more gas.